are reporting from IAB's Annual Leadership Meeting in Miami. I'm here with Rob Norman, CEO of Group M North America and Group M Interaction and
all of that.
All things.
All of that. Lots of people, lots of responsibility, and hope.
Hope, excellent. Tell us about the hope you have for digital.
Well, the hope I have is that we can collectively gain some perspective. I think that many of the things that we see, many of the things we do are driven by fashion, and to me, the biggest barrier to success for most digital marketers is not innovation, because I think they all really lean into innovation, but patience with waiting and developing results that really mean something to their businesses over time.
Interesting. So how do you know when something is like a shiny new object or a really legitimate brand building tool? How do you make that distinction?
Well, it's hard to do. The first thing you do is you say, what's the reach that this thing has got now? What are the barriers to its reach or adoption? Does it represent a new behavior? Does it represent a better way of superseding a previous behavior? And does that behavior in and of itself amplify the brand's chances of success, either at the point of sale in some cases, or by taking a brand message into a wider and deeper relationship with the consumer?
Okay, so what is the number one thing that your clients are asking you for lately?
Well, all of our clients want us to innovate at scale. They want us to make sure the old model doesn't get broken in pursuit of the new model. They want to make sure that the investments they make in high entry cost media, like television and some of the other so-called traditional media, are really fully captured by exploiting those messages through all of the other channels we can extend to. And that's obviously social specifically, it's digital, it's making sure we capture the right share of intent in search, but increasingly it's also about mobile and the second screen in a general sense, either about how we take that messaging out with the consumer when they're doing something in the real world, or about how we gain value about them interacting in some kind of real time with that message alongside, say, a TV experience.
Yes. So talk about old models and new models. Here at IAB, you're taking the stage with Dave Morgan from Simulcast to have a debate about the future of the media agency. Tell us about that and what's going to happen on stage?
Well, Dave and I are both, disappointed men. We're disappointed men because we made many attempts at a modeling career ourselves and we failed, horribly. Dave tried better than I did, but in the end we failed. So instead we get asked to talk about business models rather than swimwear models. And I guess what we're going to do is that Dave's going to talk about the role of the media technology company and the value it brings, and I'm going to talk about the role of the media agency and the value that it brings. And I don't think we're going to have an argument. I think Dave and I are in pretty vigorous agreement about both of these issues, particularly because Dave and I know that his business can only be successful if we add value to brands, and our business can only be successful if we add value to brands. What I want to do from my perch, if you like, in a media agency is talk about what the core of our purpose is. And I'm going to say that the core of our purpose is about where you allocate your money, how you optimize that money within the place you allocated once you've done that, and how you attribute success or failure to that process of allocation and optimization. And I'm going to talk about it through the prism of the fact that we service the CMOs in companies, the people that own the brand, the CFOs in companies, the people that own the P&L, and the CIOs in companies, who are the people that own the data that are increasingly joining up many different parts of business process. So our goal in the end is to use those three things of allocation, optimization, and attribution with all of the creativity and negotiation that's wrapped around that to get the maximum effect for brands, for corporations, for individual brands, for whole portfolios, for single markets and whole geographies around the world.
Excellent. And it does seem like such a navigation skill to, on behalf of your clients, interact with the publishers both strategically and creatively. What's the trick? What's a trick of the trade for that?
Well, the trick of the trade is to actually interact. And the trick of the trade is that all the people in the value chain at the center all of you have to try and understand the brand, all of you have to try and understand the consumer, and all of you have to try and understand the purchase pathway. Because all of us need to find some way of impacting all of those things. The people that are best prepared, the people that understand the most, are going to be the people that have the best ideas. If you combine the understanding with the best ideas and the ability to deliver those ideas at scale, then you're going to win. And if you can't do that, just having scale is not enough, just having ideas is not enough, and lacking context of brand, media, consumer, distribution is going to mean you're only ever dealing with part of the story.
Excellent. And what would you say is next on the horizon for the industry? What should we be paying attention to that maybe hasn't surfaced yet at this meeting?
Well, I think one of the things we're going to be looking to is to find out whether all of the checks that are being written in the digital age are really capable of being cashed. I think that there's going to be a shakeout. I think people are going to start moving well beyond the experimentation phase and the smaller scale integrations. And when they, as the popular expression now is, to lean into a relationship with tens or hundreds of millions of dollars, which we've successfully attracted the attention of the biggest advertisers right up to the boardroom with those things, they're going to say, all the evidence suggests to me that I should lean into this, all the evidence suggests to me that this should work, that if the claims of the people involved are actually true, this should be building my brands. We're not quite at ground zero as to that conversation. We're 2 or 3 steps along the way to Judgment Day. And it's going to be a very interesting time over the next 3 to 5 years as to whether or not all the things that we've come to believe about capturing intent, all of the things we've come to believe about peer-to-peer transmission, the activation of the social graph, and also the very plausibility of the notion of brands becoming friends is actually true or not. Now, I'm not here to say, because I'm an agency guy, I'm a consultant and I'm an advisor, which means that it's my job to lean in and to take the greatest effort to capture the opportunity. So I'm not here to say what's going to come true and what isn't, but I think the big issue is going to be what comes true and what doesn't.
Excellent. Well, you heard it here first at IAB Annual Leadership. Thank you, Rob, for being here.
Thank you, Julie.
And we'll see you
Can
back
we do
in the
this again?
sessions. Yes, we can.
Oh, good. Thank you.